Alrighty, knuckleheads. Today is a very special day. So, Grumpy Grandpa wants to really talk to you guys about today and what its importance is. Today is Veterans Day. Veterans Day. Think about it, people. America would not be America without the veterans. Period. Flat out. Would not be here. It all started way back when we decided we didn't want to be under a king and a ruler. We wanted to be free. We wanted to be free to be able to make up our own decisions and live without being taxed to death. All kind of stuff that I could ramble on why freedom is so good. The freedom to practice your religion. Everything. Freedom. It's sacred, people. And the people that fought before us, I can't thank them enough. They're, again, the reason why America is America. You have people that died for our country, which are Memorial Day is more on that day, but they're veterans, They're the ultimate veterans that sacrificed their lives for freedom. And I just want to thank every veteran out there. I was Air Force. I served. I kind of served during wartime, but I was in tech school whenever the ground war was going on in the first Gulf War. And I got over. After the ground war, they wanted to get a lot of the veterans back that had been over there, sacrificing for almost a year, maybe, if not more, over there. They wanted to get those people back. So I was sent over there after the ground war. So, again, I was serving during the Gulf War, but I was back in the States safe because of the veterans over there fighting for me. So by the time I got over there, it was pretty safe. The scuds were even done. Everything was done. So but we were serving a purpose. We were still keeping the no-fly zone. We wanted to keep Saddam at bay. We wanted to make sure everything that he said he was going to do, he did. So, even veterans that don't serve during wartime are serving our country greatly. You sacrifice going through basic training, and you give up your freedom whenever you're in the service. You totally just give up your freedom. It's like it's over. You sign a piece of paper, and they say where you're going to go, what you're going to do, what you're going to eat, everything, and you have no say. If they tell you to do it, you got to do it. So, you're giving up your freedom for freedom. That's a big price to pay right there. So you go through basic training. It's hard, but let's face it. You're not gonna you might die. I don't. In an accident of a freak nature or something like that. Then you go in, and then you go through tech school, and you train on your equipment and what your jobs are going to be while you're in the service. And that, took me 7.5 months after a month and a half of basic training, 7.5 months doing that. Then whenever we get shipped over there, we sit in a hangar, 125-degree hangar, just waiting to be processed in over there before we're let loose to go to where we are whenever we get over to Saudi. So, you sit around and, man, go over there. I spent 3-month tours over there. And whenever I got back stateside, as soon as you're back for a couple weeks, you're out in the field somewhere doing an exercise, spending a week or two out in the field training. And so you're away from your loved ones and everything, even if you're stateside. And don't get me wrong, military was a blast. I highly recommend it for the best thing I probably ever did in my whole entire life was to join the military and serve with the best. You know, it's kind of emotional. These people are family still to this day, and I love them to death. And yeah, they're just good people. Uh, that sacrificed. You know, we all sacrificed, and I was Air Force too, and a lot of my Air Force buddies, even during wartime, pretty safe. We're back with the planes, and so the Marines, the Army, and some Air Force people flying over countries. They're, they're sacrificing a lot and doing it for our country. So I mean, I can ramble, and 3 months I'm over there, I'm in a tent with a satellite van with the generator 10 foot away from the tent, just grinding away, loud as can be, spending 12-hour shifts just sitting there for a total of probably 9 to 10 months. I spent over in Saudi total with my three-month tours. So yeah, it was easy. It was easy service for what I did compared to the other veterans out there. So kudos to the veterans that put themselves on the line. My dad was a Marine and served during World War II. He's like a little 118-pound guy. He had like thyroid thing, and he was just a little guy. I wouldn't mess with him though. You don't mess with Marines once they go become Marines. That little guy could scare the crap out of anybody. He was a tough guy. I joined the Air Force. My son, he joined the Navy, hospital corpsman. Can you believe that? Marines don't have hospital corpsmen. They get their hospital corpsmen from the Navy people. So he did his Marine training and was all set to go. If somebody was in a field somewhere yelling medic, bullets flying like crazy, my son would have had to run over there and help that guy. Thank God he got in a clinic stateside, 2 clinics stateside, and never went to Afghanistan or Iraq, never saw action. God was good to him. But, I mean, his number could have been called up to go over there anytime, and he would have served proudly. I know he would have. And, I told him whenever he's getting in a Navy hospital corpsman, I'm like, are you ready to be all odds against you, guy down over there, bullets flying everywhere? You got to run over there and get him and help him out no matter what. And he's like, yeah, I'm ready. So I'm like, okay, then that's what you want to do. That's what you're going to do. I'm not going to stop him. He's an 18-year-old boy that wants to serve his country. Man, I'm a proud pop. Never prouder in my life than whenever he signed up to serve his country. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive there, son. So we do all this, all for America to be free. And here lately, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party for years have been playing us. We've been giving up freedom for safety and other schemes for years now, people. They've been playing us. They've been scamming us, and it's been terrible. Along comes Donald Trump, an outsider. He's a smart man. He sees what's going on, and he said he would never, he didn't really want to run for president back in the day he was interviewed, but he said if he thought that our freedom was being, taken away, then he would step in. And by God, he did. And I think to this day that it was divine, that he was trained his whole life to do exactly what he's doing right now and standing up for America and making America great again. And you want to talk about service, giving up the life that he had to serve his country for freedom. Man, I got mad respects for Donald J. Trump, our president. And so now we're sitting here, and the deep state was really, really they didn't like that outsider coming. They were almost close to this one 16-year Agenda 21 or whatever it was, 16-year plan to make a one world government to where just the elites, people, the bankers, and the elites were going to run the show, probably depopulate the earth, and all kinds of crazy, bad stuff. But along comes Donald J. Trump. He's a joke to them. He's never going to make it in. But he's starting to look like the Jazz was looking good for him to make it in. So what did they do? They started going, we better keep an eye on this guy. Let's get that fake dossier made over there. Let's get all our crony friends in foreign countries, make up this false dossier so we can spy on his campaign. See what he's doing over there. Let's not let this guy even get into office. So they do. They do their shenanigans, and Trump still pulls it off. Pretty smart guy. He pulls it off and gets in to office. And even after election, I thought, man, they're not even going to let him get to day one before he can swear in and take office. They were running and gunning to get him out forever. So then that plan didn't work on spying on him, and they probably were cheating that election too with votes. And even after cheating, he still had more votes than them. So he gets in. Then Plan B comes along. Plan B was, all right, we'll get him with quid pro quo. Like, Biden had to almost run for election so they can say he was running against Biden. So they can say, well, he's looking into corruption with the Biden family. And they say, oh, that's, he's just looking at him because he's running against Trump. No, it was looking at him because there's like total corruption going on between the Biden family and Ukraine and China. And Trump's like, hey, can you look into this? I think there was a lot of nefarious stuff going on with the Biden family, and they were extorting money from America. So they tried to get him on that. But here, Biden does quid pro quo. He's caught on videotape demanding, while he was vice president, demanding that they fire a guy investigating the company that Hunter worked for. I mean, you open up your eyes and you see what's going on in America. You can see that the good guys and the bad guys. I mean, if you open up your eyes, and I know a lot of people hate Trump because he's an alpha male. He's strong. He's brash. He's cocky. But the good thing about Trump is he wants people to love him. He is arrogant, and he wants to be the man. That's why he puts his name on everything. He wants to be loved. He wants to have everybody go, that's Donald Trump. I like that guy over there. I love him. And he wants to be the man. So I knew he'd be a good president because A, he wasn't a politician, and B, he wasn't going to do stuff to make everybody hate him. He was going to do stuff, cut taxes, do all kind of stuff to make America love him. And the majority of America does love him, I think. I think the polls, and I think the election's been totally rigged. And even if he doesn't win the popular vote, if he did a election properly, he'd probably have that too. But you can tell a lot of Americans love him. And if you look at policy, I can tell you all kind of good things that policy-wise that he's done for me. Cut my taxes, strengthened the border, the military, straightened out the veterans, VA hospital. Oh, man, I can go on. I got rid of that stupid penalty for not having the unaffordable care. So, yeah, he did a lot of stuff to help me out, and that's why I voted for him. And that's why I think he got in, because he was looking out for me, the people. So, that was stage 2, quid pro quo. But what they said he was doing, the other side was doing. That didn't work. They got him impeached but didn't pass in the Senate, so that failed on him. Oh boy, the day after that, day or two, couple days after that, or right after that, stage 3 came in to be. Stage 3 was, and I knew it. I'm sitting back, you already hear this, China's got a virus, and they're making people like walking on the street and just keeling over and dying. Like it's really, you're like already, they're starting to try to brainwash us already to think this is a thing, and so they get it all going. Trump shuts down the border even from China, and then he's called a racist and all kind of things, even though he shut down the border from this extremely contagious virus, which it's just the flu, people. It's just a regular flu season that they might have released something, China, to get this flu rolling and everything, but they release it. This is stage 3 to get Trump out. The economy is doing fantastic, never better. There's never been a president that never got reelected when the economy is doing way better than whenever he got in. So he's smooth. He's in like Flynn. So this does 2 things. It kills the economy. That's 1. 2, it gets these blanketed mail-in ballots. Okay, you have absentee balances, which you got to prove who you are. There's checks and balances. So you can do to do absentee ballots. Then it come along these blanketed, they just mail them out to everybody. And you could buy that ballot. You could not be the person that even fills it out. They could be already dead. They could be moved out of the state. What it opened up is, so after Trump wins on election night, which he did, he was ahead in every one of those swing states, they stopped the voting. And they're like, how many more votes do we need to steal it? So they stopped the counting at like 2 a.m. And then 4 a.m., we all saw it. Hundreds of thousands of ballots come in for Biden. And, by the next morning, he's winning. All election night, they would never put Trump projected to win. Even, they wouldn't call Texas early. They wouldn't call Florida early. But like Virginia, Trump's even winning that when they're projecting it to Biden so they can put electoral votes over in his column. So it looks like Biden is leading the whole night. But at the end of the night, all the votes for Trump in the swing states were higher than Biden. So Trump won election night, but they would never give him, the electoral votes because it wasn't decided yet, nor is it decided yet already. So these blanketed mail-in ballots come along, and they just sneak those in the middle of the night in trucks, pull them in, and boom, mysteriously, Biden's winning all the swing states. And guess what? All those swing states are, all the cities especially are ran by Democrats and Democrat legislatures and all that stuff. So go figure that there's some controversy going on, and we all know that there's a lot of cheating going on. If you looked at the Jazz, Trump had all the momentum, even in those states. His rallies were huge and everything. Biden, no Jazz, no nothing. I'm 100% sure that they cheated their way to being ahead at this point in time. Well, we'll have to see. Now this is where it comes back to. I sacrificed for this country. So, for freedom and for fair elections, I spent 4 years. All we're asking right now is that you give the courts, law and order, a chance to play out, people. Let it play out. We're going to see what happens. And, to all the people that are already calling this, like the mainstream media, who we all know, they're all owned by the corporations. All the big pharmaceuticals advertise on them. Pharmaceuticals, they hate Trump. They want to be able to charge top dollar for all their medication and everything. We all know what's going on. The Chinese, they own the NBA and everything else now. We get it. The communism, Marxist party is strong. But that ain't freedom, people. So we got to do our due diligence and fight. Just like the veterans fought for our freedom. You as American citizens should not allow all this corruption to go on. You need to start waking up and seeing all the shenanigans going on, especially with this election. So let's let the courts decide. Let's find out what was fair and what wasn't fair. And after this, if you cheated to get your guy in, you just destroyed America. You got to do it legit, people. We have to have fair elections or we've lost this country for good. So all I'm asking too is in the future, our technology is great. I mean, your iPhone is locked down. People can't even get into it. You got your fingerprint on your iPhone. It's secure. We have all this technology to secure our electrical devices. And you know that they're cheating because nobody pushes for this technology to be part of election. They want it wide open for cheating. So in this day and age, we should have picture ID. You know, you get your license nowadays, you got to have your thumbprint on a machine. We should have to put our thumbprint on that machine to make sure whoever's voting is that person voting. And if you mail in your absentee ballot, to get the absentee ballot, you have to go in there, put your thumb on the machine to be even able to get a ballot. All these ballots, do your due diligence. Send the absentee ballot in early so that they're already tabulated. So whenever election night comes, they're already in the system, locked down, counted. There is no way with our technology that we shouldn't know who won the election on election night. There should not be ballots flowing in weeks, days after being trucked in. And I'll debate anybody to say, you know it. If the elections are wide open and not secure, like these blanketed mail-in ballots, the only reason for it is so they can cheat. Hands down. I'll debate anybody on that. It would be like having some kind of a contest. You're playing friends and you're in playing Monopoly, let's say, with your family, and you tell your family you got to turn your eyes while I roll the dice, and you know you're just gonna have to trust me on that. Now, checks and balance. Everybody's watching you roll the dice. Make sure you're playing fair, or else why even play the game? If somebody gonna cheat, nobody wants to play with cheaters. They're just gonna give it up. Well, I've been rambling a long time. God bless our veterans for sacrificing for my freedom. And it's up to you, young knuckleheads. What do you want? Do you want freedom? Do you want fair elections? We all hate to lose. And you might not like Trump, right? Or you might not like Biden. But if you can't have a fair and honest election, you're losing your freedom, knuckleheads. You've done given up your freedom. So all I'm asking, since, all the veterans served, and like I say, I was Air Force, safe. I served during wartime, but it was after the ground war. We were totally fine. They had no Air Force on the other side, so we're way back across the Gulf, so we're safe. I'm not saying that I sacrificed hugely like a lot of the veterans that just charge them a beachhead or something like that, and they know their odds are terrible. That's some bravery right there, man. That's guy bravery stuff there. And women bravery stuff too. Don't get me wrong. You women that serve are even more probably important than the guys. Everybody is equal in the military. That's another thing I liked about the military. Racism wasn't allowed in the military at all. And my fellow airmen, we were all equal and we all loved each other and we had a great time serving together. And there were some women in our shop that towed the line harder than some men in our shop too. So the men and women both, I thank you so much for all your sacrifice to freedom. And let's keep our freedom. We got a chance right now to decide. Are we going to where you don't have freedom? You got they're going to make you wear the mask. That the whole flu thing was it's just to take away your freedom, people. They wanted to shut down small businesses. They want more businesses to be controlled by big companies, because then the big companies will decide what happens to you. They got rid of all the small businesses. They don't want you to be in control of your own business. They don't want you to have everything you had in the past. This fake flu, and it's a flu. Just a flu, people. How about you go out like the veterans and serve? Let's get this country back going. Let's open up everything. Let's take off the stupid mask that probably doesn't work in the first place. It's just a symbolism of your loyalty to the Marxist, communist, China Wu flu that they sent over here just to show how obedient you are. It's ridiculous, people. Let's get back to work. Let's take off the stupid mask. Them Chinese people have been wearing masks for 20 years now, whether there's a flu bug or not. You go watch videos. They're wearing their mask 24/7, showing their I can't even say the word, subservitude to their country. It's ridiculous. I could rant on all day long, but today is Veterans Day, and I'm a veteran, so I get to speak up today and tell you my opinion. This is all my opinion, obviously, but like we say on Two Old People on the Couch, do your own research. Look at all this. Use your common sense. I know a lot of people don't have common sense. Use your common sense. And look how it all went down through Trump's whole election. All the stages to try to get rid of him. And even to the point of destroying America to try to bring him down. It's all common sense. It all was in stages. As soon as the impeachment failed, then all of a sudden Wu flu was a big, huge deal. And these blanketed mail-in ballots came next. They're like, oh, well, it's just, don't even get me started. Just do your own research out there, people. And by all means, if you think something different than what I think, say it down below. You're free to give any remarks on my page that you want. But that's my opinion, and I'm giving it to you, knuckleheads. Just start thinking out there and doing your own research. And like I say every time whenever I end a video, do your own research.